Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this is a space where we reveal the hidden treasures of Africa, and today I'm doing something a little different. I'm taking you with me on my Polish adventure. Poland taught me something profound. It taught me that a people who remember who they are cannot be permanently destroyed. Anywhere that I step my foot on, I research, I learn so that I can understand where I'm at. And so, Dubai, let me give you a history lesson because this is an educational channel. Did you know? For 123 years, from 1795 to 1918, Poland did not exist as a country. 123 years. Three powerful empires, Russia, Prussia, and Austria, divided Poland among themselves in what historians call the partitions of Poland. They drew new borders. They banned the Polish language in schools. They suppressed the Catholic faith. They tried to erase Polish identity from the earth. Now tell me, does that sound familiar? The Berlin Conference of 1884. European powers sitting around a table in Germany, drawing lines across a continent they had never lived in, dividing people who had centuries of civilization, culture, language, and spiritual identity. Africa and Poland were both partitioned by foreign powers. Africa and Poland both had their languages suppressed. Africa and Poland both had their identities targeted for erasure. Through 123 years of occupation, Polish people kept speaking their language in secret. They kept their faith. They kept their stories alive around kitchen tables when it was illegal to do so publicly. And when communism collapsed in 1989, no foreign power came to rescue them. Leaving Poland economically devastated, they restructured their own economy. They privatized strategically. They invested in education. They opened their doors to trade. They rebuilt again. In just 30 years, Poland went from economic collapse to one of the fastest growing economies in Europe. Poland taught me that erasure is not the end. And so today we walk Warsaw's old town together. And I promise you, by the time this tour is over, you will never see yourself, your history, or your potential as an African or as a citizen of the world the same way again. Our first stop is Castle Square, and the very first thing that greets you is this magnificent column. This is Sigismund's column, built in 1644 to honor King Sigismund, the king who moved Poland's capital from Krakow to Warsaw. It is one of the oldest secular monuments in Warsaw. But here is what makes it extraordinary. This column was torn down by the Nazis in 1944, deliberately knocked over, shattered, and after the war, the Polish people gathered the broken pieces from the rubble, reassembled what they could, and put it back up. The same column, the same king, standing again. Now I want you to think about something. How many African monuments, institutions, languages, and traditions were deliberately torn down during colonialism? How many things that belong to us were shattered, scattered, or declared primitive and irrelevant? Igbo had the Obi, the sacred seat of traditional authority. They had the Eze, the king, the custodian of culture and justice. Colonialism came and knocked those columns down. But here is a lesson from Sigismund's column. The pieces were never lost. They were just waiting to be reassembled. Your culture, your language, your traditions, they are pieces waiting for you to gather them, study them, and put them back where they belong, standing tall for the next generation to see. This is the royal castle of Warsaw, a palace of kings, a seat of power, a building that housed Poland's parliament, where in 1791 the world's first modern democratic constitution was signed, the first in the world right here. And in 1944, German demolition squads entered this castle and blew it up. Room by room, floor by floor. They even removed the artwork and historical items first, stealing Poland's heritage before destroying its walls. The castle was left as a pile of rubble for decades. It was not fully reconstructed and opened to the public until 1984. It took 40 years of work, fundraising, determination, and national will to bring this castle back to life. And today it stands as one of the most visited landmarks in Europe. And now we arrived at the heart of everything, the old town's market square. Look at these colors: red, yellow, green, blue, orange, buildings dressed like a celebration. Like Warsaw is saying to the world, we are still here and we are beautiful. This square dates back to the end of 13th century. For 500 years, it was the beating heart of Warsaw, where merchants traded, where life happened in all its noise and color. And then, rubble. Every single one of these colorful buildings, rubble. So how did they rebuild it so perfectly? Here is where the story becomes almost miraculous. An 18th century Italian artist named Bernardo Belletto, the court painter to the King of Poland, had painted Warsaw Street with extraordinary precision. Every facade, every window, every color. He painted what he saw in stunning detail. And after the war, Polish architects used these paintings as blueprints. They rebuilt Warsaw from a painter's memory, from art, from someone who looked at ordinary streets and decided they were worth preserving forever on canvas. And now, stop, look down. This small bronze statue, barely reaching the knee, is called a Little Insurgent. It commemorates the children, some as young as 10 years old, who fought in the Warsaw Uprising of 1944. Children who picked up weapons too big for their hands and fought for a city that was being erased around them. They fought because something inside them, something ancient and unbreakable, refused to accept that their home, their identity, their people's story would end on someone else's terms. Now let's move it over to St. John's Cathedral. Our final stop on this tour is the oldest church in the city, St. John's Cathedral. Founded in the early 14th century, a place of coronations, of prayer, of national memory. Destroyed in the war, rebuilt, but not identically. Before the war, it stood in English New Gothic style. After the reconstruction, it was rebuilt in Masovian Gothic, a distinctly Polish architectural tradition. The Polish architects made a decision: we will rebuild as ourselves, not as a copy of something English, not as an imitation of something foreign, but in the style that belongs to this land, these people, this soul. Africa, are you hearing this? What if African governance looked like African governance? rooted in communal decision-making, in the council of elders, in the Ubuntu philosophy that says, I am because we are. What if African spirituality was allowed to breathe again in its original form, without shame, without apology? What if African architecture, African fashion, African music stopped borrowing and started leading? The cathedral was rebuilt as itself, beautifully, confidently, unapologetically. This is the most revolutionary thing any African can do today. Rebuild yourself as yourself. As I walk back through the streets, I find myself thinking about what it means to know your own worth. Warsaw knew its worth. Even in the rubble, it knew. Even when the world said, let it go, it refused. Even when it took 40 years to rebuild one castle, it kept building. And today, Warsaw's old town is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a symbol, as UNESCO itself declared, of a nation's will to survive. I want Africa to have that declaration made about her, not from UNESCO, not from the West, not from anyone outside. I want Africa to declare it about herself. Subscribe for more of my Polish adventure and for content that celebrates who we truly are as Africans, the treasures. I see you in the next one, but until then, stay healthy, stay blessed. Akabokwa mwadunu splendor ngasi. Comment section. Hey, and if you have watched up until now, God bless you. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your support. And let me know, this is just for you spatially, which other area of Poland would you want me to cover? And let us know how this video has helped you to reimagine the rebuilding of Africa or your own personal life. Balling out. God bless you.